What's going on, guys? Stefan here with you, S&E's Garage. In today's video, we are going to be doing our first oil change on our 2021 Dodge Durango RT with the 5.7 liter V8. So like I said, this is going to be our first oil change on this vehicle. We purchased it with around 22,000 miles on it, and we are right at around 26,500 and change. So we're a little short of 5,000 miles, but I'm not sure if the dealer we purchased it from used synthetic or if they used an original equipment filter. So we're going to go ahead and do it early out of an abundance of caution. So what we have here is a Mopar oil filter, an MO-339. I'll go ahead and leave one of these bad boys here in the video description below. And we have 7 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum Synthetic. I did realize that one of these is Ultra Platinum. This has about 2 quarts left in it, and then we have 5 quarts here. So for the sake of what we're doing here, this is going to be fine. And the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and pull this oil cap. I like to remove the oil cap, and then what I will do is go ahead and I'll leave it right there on the hinge. That just reminds me that, hey, Stefan, you didn't put oil in it. Make sure you don't forget to put oil in it. That's kind of a reminder that I set myself. And I'll also pull the dipstick out, and I'll just kind of leave it chilling there so I know, hey, you got to put oil in it. So let's go ahead. We're going to get our quick jacks. We're going to get them up under the truck, and we are going to lift it up. Now, this is the 7,000 pound series quick jacks, so they will safely lift up to 7,000 pounds, and the Durango is nowhere near that. So we have plenty of weight to spare here. We're going to be nice and safe, so let's go ahead and get it up. All right, so full disclosure here, this is the biggest vehicle I've had on these quick jacks, and it's actually super sturdy. You can go ahead, shake the truck, it ain't going anywhere, so I feel 100% safe under here. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is locate everything that we need to find to drain our oil. And it looks like I'm supposed to have some sort of a panel here, but it's gone. But it looks like that's going to be my oil drain. Looks like it's probably a 13 millimeter. And then up there we have our oil filter. And it even has a little bit of an area for it to drain, so it's not going to make a mess. So let's go ahead, get our drain pan, and start draining this oil. And we can see just how nice it looks under here for a New Jersey car. Pretty happy with it. Let's go ahead and drain the oil. Okay, so we're going to be using a 13 millimeter with a 5 or so inch extension and a ratchet to go ahead and break this drain plug loose. And as you see, we have it draining. So we're just going to go ahead and let it get a nice complete drain in, and then we'll get up there and change the filter. So while your oil is draining, you're going to want to take this opportunity to inspect your drain plug and the rubber O-ring. You're just going to want to make sure that it is okay and does not have any rips or tears. Ours looks good. We're just going to go ahead and clean this up. And you'll see down here that our drain has slowed to a trickle, so we're just going to let it keep on trickling for a little bit. And once I'm ready to go ahead and put the drain plug in, we will do that and then crack that filter off. So here we have several different styles of oil filter wrench. This is like the basic one. It's like a little band wrench. This is a claw, and then we have oil filter pliers here. We're just going to go ahead up in there with this tried and true oil filter wrench. We're going to go ahead and grab the filter, crack it loose, let it drain for a second, and then we're going to go ahead and throw our Mopar MO-339 up in there, and then put our drain plug in, start filling her up. So we bought this thing from a Chevy dealer, used, and I'm actually, I'm not at all surprised to see that it has an AC Delco oil filter on it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because it is an original equipment filter, just not original equipment for a Mopar. So this is the filter we are going to put on, and this is what we are taking off. You can see they are about the same height. The Dodge filter is just a little bit higher and maybe a little bit wider, so it may have more filter media in it. I'm not sure, but I've always been a big proponent of using original equipment oil filters. It's just the way I do it. You'll see I have a Lexus Toyota oil filter back there for my Lexus, just the way I do things. So we're gonna go ahead, screw this oil filter on, get our drain plug back in, and then we'll start filling her up. So one thing I did want to mention that I forgot to mention is now would be a good time to check your old oil filter. Make sure the rubber O-ring is still on it and not stuck on the engine. And then you're going to want to take some fresh motor oil and go ahead and lube up the rubber O-ring on your new filter. We did that already. It's in the truck installed. Again, I just wanted to make you aware of that. So now we're going to go ahead, stick our drain plug in, and then we're just going to use a paper towel, clean up the any oil residue around either the drain plug or the oil filter so we do not have any drips in our driveway, and start filling her up. All right, guys, we got our funnel in. Now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to fill her up with oil. Liquid gold. Let's go ahead and get the other 5 quarts, dump it in. All right, we got all of our oil in. We're going to go ahead, push our dipstick here in. And my garage door is closed right now, but I'm going to fire the car up for 5 seconds. Let that oil circulate for a second, fill up that oil filter. You really just have to wait for the oil pressure light to turn off if it comes on. You'll see here we're good. Okay, so let's go ahead and shut it down and let the oil settle for a second, and then we're just going to double check our oil level and call it complete. All right, guys, once you're done, you're gonna go ahead and pull your dipstick, and this is what you should see. We are nice and full. So now let's go ahead, get in the car, and let's reset our oil change reminder. So resetting this is actually super easy. You're gonna go up into basically the oil life here, and it'll tell you hold OK to reset. So we're just gonna go ahead and press OK. There you go, we're at 100%. So now I'm gonna change the oil on this thing every 5,000 miles, regardless of what this says. This is a Hemi. It has the MSD, or the multiple displacement system, MDS, whatever you want to call it. And the lifters are prone to failure. So we're going to make sure we have fresh oil in it. So I'm going to go ahead and write an oil change sticker for 31,823 miles. And I'm going to stick it right here on my windshield. And I'm going to change it regardless of what the dummy light says. That's what I recommend. I do 5,000 miles on all of my cars. This Durango, that Mustang, the Lexus outside, my beater Camry, that's 5,000 miles, it gets drained. So that's what we're going to do. You can do what you want, but again, that's what I recommend. I'm going to go ahead and leave everything we used in this video down in the video description below. I'll leave the oil filter. I'll leave the oil filter wrenches, the various different kinds you could use. I'll go ahead and leave some oil. And everything else you're going to need is just basic hand tools. Like you saw, we had a ratchet, 5-inch or so extension, and a 13mm socket, and that's everything you're going to need to do this. Super easy. Also, while I'm here, make sure you recycle your rolled oil. Don't dump it out in the woods or in your backyard or something. Bring it to AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Napa. They all take used motor oil. Recycle it. It's good for the environment, and that's what you should do. So like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.